Hi all. Today we are going to discuss about CNAME in Route 53. So what is CNAME? CNAME is a type of resource record in the domain name system which map one domain name to another. In a simple terms, it is an alternative name. Let's see this example. The first option is very hard to remember, which is created by AWS CloudFront and AWS generated random unique URL, whereas the second option is easy to remember. You may notice instead of auto-generated URL, we can use the simplified one. And this could be achieved using CNAME or a record. And we'll see that how it is possible by using CNAME and a record in the next slide. So let's say we would like to host a web server in EC2 instance. The moment EC2 instance is provisioned by AWS, it will create a public IP and public DNS. If you have a public IP, then the choice is IP address, and it is recommended to use static IP. And if you want to map with the DNS, then you can choose CNAME. See this example, and this is nothing but public DNS, EC2 public DNS, and we map with by using a CNAME. Now move to the next slide to see how exactly a CNAME works. Now if you see in this example, foo.example.com is a record, whereas bar.example.com is a CNAME. But interesting fact is over here, bar.example.com use another subdomain called it foo.example.com. CNAME, in case of CNAME, it is not allowed to use IP address, and it is mandatory and compulsory to use a domain name or subdomain. So what exactly happened? So you can see this would be mapped with the foo.example.com. Bar.example.com is mapped with the foo.example.com, which is typically a record and mapped with a IP. So what exactly happened behind the scene? When we request bar.example.com, the resolver will see the CNAME record and it restart the checking at foo.example.com, and it will be return the IP 89.0.2.23, and finally it will be pointing to the web server. There is certain rules that need to be followed while you creating a CNAME. A CNAME cannot be a non-root domain, and as I mentioned in the previous slide, that CNAME doesn't support IP address. It is not possible to duplicate, or it is not possible to creating multiple record with the same CNAME. CNAME can be mapped with another CNAME, but it is not efficient and it is not recommended. So now we will quickly move to the hands-on. Let's create a EC2 instance. Now go to the free option of Ubuntu. Go to the next. I keep the other option as it is. Only I would like to assign a admin rules so that it will be execute certain script, and this script is basically hosting a Apache web server. So this script is going to, so this is the script which I'm going to use the script to hosting a Apache server. So if you see here, this is updating, try to updating, and then later it would be try to install Apache, and then we creating our own page called it index.html with this name. Okay, I'll be share this script in the description section. So now go to the next option. Go to the next option. Go to the next option, and here I would like to choose the option DevOps because it would be giving me option for HTTP, SSH connection and HTTPS. Now review and launch, hit the launch button, and then I'm going to use my default key, my demo key, and say launch instance. So few instance, it may need few seconds to create. Meanwhile, I just go and see that how Route 53 looks like. So guys, if you see here, you can find out Route 53 option is here, or you can find out the Route 53 option under networking and content delivery. So I just pick something called it Route 53 real quick. I had already bought a domain, so this is called my demo for you domain. So I just go and first select hosted zone, and then you can find out the domain name. I choose this domain name, then you go to the record set. When you go to the record set, there's an option to create record set. So let's say we create the domain is called it foo.mydemoforyou.com, and now instead of finding a record type A, I'm going to choose something called it CNAME, and here I have to provide the DNS name, the domain name I have to provide, and let's change to 60 second. And then here to fill this information I need public DNS. Keep this routing policy to simple. Now go back here, go to the instance, and you may see this is up and running. Now pick this, copy this public DNS. Now you can see that hello AWS is printing. Now copy this public DNS. If you like to go with a record type A, then you probably just use this IP. But since we are in this demo, we just try out the CNAME. I'm just copying this public DNS. So I've copied this one. Now go to here. I had already creating a record set name called it foo.mydemo4.com, and then I have paste this public DNS and say create. In a second it will be created. I just copy this URL, and now I go to the next page, and if I hit enter, you can see that it's printing hello AWS. Now we'll see that how exactly the resolver finding the CNAME. To show that example, so I quickly go and find the connect option, and I use this one. Let me go to my commander and paste it here, enter. Now go here, copy this, and say yes. Okay, now it would be up and running. Now I want to go and grab this foo.mydemoforyou.com. Come here, and now you type dig. I do not want this, so I just want to giving only the domain name. So the DNS name And now if I hit enter, I can see something over here. So you can find out this is foo.mydemo.com, whereas this is something called as 60 is nothing but the TTL. And now it's pointing to the CNAME. Here is the AWS public DNS, and then this AWS public DNS heading to this IP address 172.31.71.114, which is a public IP address. And this is how exactly AWS CNAME works. Thank you for watching. See you again.